get Discord up. Markets flipping, taking gains. Yep. Can I add every? It's gonna populate. I wonder if that sends out an alert. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. What's happening? Enjoying today? Enjoying taking some gains today? Alrighty, let's get into it. No gains taken, huh? Well, things are starting to flip red. Rivian went red, SoFi now went red, Oscar went red, Hims has been red. It's coming to fill that gap. 1950, we called it. We have a 22 CSP just because I don't think that we'll end up getting it by the time April 17th rolls around, but if I can, cool. I'm not buying any more Hims. If I get a sign, these are all I'm loaded up. I don't need any more Hims. I do need to get into Iren before they announce their next contract because it is going to pop. I'll turn on my screen, entire screen here. Alrighty. Let's see. I'm assuming I haven't looked at any news, so this morning I was just all in. I have morning reports I have to get done, so like it was really hard for me to get reports done this morning because I was just watching the market. All right, let's go see what's kind of going on real quick. Why is everything turning down? It's going to be a big earnings. So this is what I agree with. I agree that we are going down. Hims is going down here. Okay, there's another gap on this side right over here. That is this like 1950 range. And I do think that's where it's going to hit 1950 before we head up. And then we're going to go back to 41. So this is going to be your final like loading opportunity to load that boat. And the best opportunity after this trip, you're really not going to want to care to add anything. You're just going to want to wish you did it down here. So Hims for sure. I agree with this chart. But what's going on? Why is the market turning? That's the question. ONDS had great call. Oscar revenue looks good going forward, but doesn't care. The stock does not care. But they're doing a little manipulation. Cypher needs to break for this to happen. So we're trying to buy. I don't own any now. I closed all my CSPs on today's pop. Took the majority of those wins. I wish I could show. Here, maybe I can. Let's see. Cypher. Can I see it? Okay. So I can kind of see it. Let me see. Oh, it doesn't let me do the little pop-up where it gives a better display of the profits, but there's some profits being taken for Cypher. Like I said, they just need to break out of this downtrend, and it's off to the races, and we're going to 30s. So like, this is why I need to be. I think the market's almost there. That's why I feel like I'm about to start with the remaining capital I have. I still have a lot sitting in CSPs, but I do need to start buying some shares outright, and that's what's going to start taking place. You guys are going to start seeing that when it comes to my buy alerts. is going to be more of buying the shares more than it is CSPs now. CSPs were during that whole choppy time, and I still have a bunch, but if today is any indication of what it looks like when a war comes to an end, um, you will see this, but you'll see it for a week straight of 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. And you're going to wish you had shares. So you will see with my remaining capital, even if we went down further, I'm okay with it because I know when the war does come to an end, like I said, long term mindset, everything is going from these levels, current levels, in 6 months from now, it won't matter. And we've been saying that, right? And we've been making money, making our small little wins here and there, but we need to get ready for that big move, which everything is currently setting up is very similar to this. So if we take a look at our Cypher one, okay, it needs to break this, which it kind of hit the resistance pretty close up here when we were kind of getting out of our CSPs. Um, So anything dropping down into these like 15s, 14s, like I'm not going to worry about the dollar because when we do take off, right, it's going to be multiple dollars that we're going to win. So don't get so hung up on $1 because when this breaks, it's going to break. And here's the daily is bullish and the weekly is pretty dang close to breaking. Um, but I do think we could reject it one more time and then we will get that breakthrough. So it's just saying, like, be ready for that opportunity. And Iren is sitting right here in the same spot. Okay. Getting close, close, curling. Daily is again hitting this. We could reject or break through. All it takes is them to do the same thing Iren did and same thing Nibius did, which is announce a contract. And then it's off to the races. And the trend line's up to like 52. So we still have like a $10 upside to hit this top trend line that Iren has been bouncing off of. So, and the downside right now, you're like to the bottom, $3, $4. And to the upside, we have about 10. And then if we break it, it's, we got $40 or so to the upside. So that's why I'm kind of getting ready. I'm like wanting to really load up on data centers right now. Space is obviously a hot sector, guys. Space is a hot sector. Again, I'm gonna cry. Other people won't. Again, you don't have to follow me. I can make mistakes. My goal is I hope that my mistakes are winning mistakes still. Um, I'll take my 10-15% wins, and then if it goes up, it goes up. But um, you could sell half, you can do, other things, but space is a hot sector. Rocket Lab, we sold at 87 when we were up here. It's down. We've got 3 diamonds holding support, and look what that looks like. Same thing. 3 diamonds holding this support level after a top, 3 diamonds, skyrocket. Rocket Lab could be setting up for that same move. Okay? So it is definitely a very promising stock. So again, it's just not super undervalued for me to want to like dive into it, but I get it. What was the other ones? Oh, what I wanted to show you with Iran too, why I'm kind of interested or really interested. If you turn on the Bollinger Bands, guys, look how close these bands are getting. Top band, bottom band. Okay? Look how wide and quickly how tight it got. Okay? That's a squeeze. We have a squeeze coming. Okay, I would assume based on all the other data centers, it's not going to be to the downside because Iran already did their offering. They already had earnings. The only thing that they've been holding off on is some news that they are going to announce some partnership with somebody, but they don't give us details. They talked about it being OpenAI. Maybe he can't comment, So like, there's a few details, but it's getting there. It's saying it's a squeeze is coming. So I think that it's going to be smart to just buy some shares. So you know what? I'm just gonna start it and just get it over with right now, for me. Okay, I'm just gonna get it over with. It's told us to buy 3 or 4 times. Okay, so I'm just gonna get it over with. I'm just gonna buy some right now. Just it's gonna go up. I'm not going to stress about it. That's the plan. Don't stress. I could get more shares if I get assigned, but likelihood of it happening not huge. Let me go to the smaller time frame real quick. 4 hour bullish, 2 hour bullish, 1 hour coming down. So that's the retest we're having right now. 30 minutes retesting it. So what I'm looking at, guys, is right here, these little curls. So 30-minute right now. All right. Sorry, work emails. Seeing these curls. Yeah, no worries. You guys can listen, ask questions, put them in chats. If you can't talk, it's all recorded too. So if you need to look back at anything, if you said, "Oh man, they were talking about that stock," I want to look at what they were looking at. You can look on YouTube as recording our live streams here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy some. Boom. I bought some. I'm an owner of Iran. I'm bullish. If Nibius makes the move and Cypher makes that move, a 10% easy move, you know, it's gonna be a quick pickup. Um, so I'm grabbing some Iran shares. I'm not worried. One, I'm not worried you guys are gonna see it. I'm right on the account. I think it's because of hymns. Again, if we look, just so you guys can see what my account right now. Okay, February. Well, that was a roll and EOS. So 4 grand of that is not a real loss. It's put into these ones because the roll gave us a credit, and then yeah. If you need me to explain why it shows a negative, I can do that if you guys have questions. Okay. But as of right now, between March, 16 grand. So for me, living, I need about 5 grand a month in premium. So I'm gonna pull 5 grand out of that and live off it, and 10 grand will stay in my account. Okay. That's how it works for me for living. I need to just make sure minimum premium is 5 grand a month so I can pull that, and then any additional gains outside of the 5 grand can stay in the account. But I have to find a way to generate at least 5 grand a month to cover living expenses. Okay. And if you can figure out what your goal is, then it makes it really easy on the tracking to generate your monthly performance and realize, okay, I made what I need to make. Now, anything after that's just gravy. Don't get so caught up in this, like, you'll see somebody online, oh, I made 300% return. Okay. Those people don't show you how much they've also lost before they got to that 300% return. Um, and we set these expectations, and I said it last live stream, is that the we as humans compete with each other without knowing truly what the other one has achieved, right? Everyone sees on social media, anything like that, people driving Lamborghinis, they're like these 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds driving Lamborghinis, and you're like, what the heck? Well, they're also not financially smart and put everything on loans and credit cards, and they just kind of live. They don't realize, what life is actually like and realistic, so we find ourselves trying to compete with those and realize that they're actually not in a financially smart place, but they just look like it, right? I look to my friends, I probably look broke. Like and to my wife, we look broke. We have ramen in our pantry. Like, we're not going out and splurging our money. So um but I'm happy to look at any stocks. You guys can put them in the chat if you guys want. Our space sector is doing great. You've hit Nibius 124.17 CC. I can roll to 130 for a credit. What's the credit amount? Um, I'm looking at this daily. I mean, you see some curling happening. I think you're still gonna have an opportunity for this to pull back a little bit more to better your situation if you see what I see right now. Boom, 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 volume. You see what I'm seeing? Weekly curling up, but this is coming down there. So I think you are going to get to roll, but I think you have some maybe tomorrow or Friday could be the day. I don't know if today's the day. Based on this, it looks like you have a day or so. Overall, the bigger time frame is bullish. Right here, right, we're above, we're positive. MACD curling, stochastic curling, volume going up. But it looks like you will have probably tomorrow or the next day be a better opportunity. It's just based on how I see the daily indicator. Yeah. Stochastic looks there, MACD, cross. Yeah. So I think you have a day or two to figure out. Maybe if tomorrow's red, just do it. Wouldn't try to time it perfectly, but I think you could have a better opportunity. All right, we're up on Iran. We can just go ahead and close that. We'll just pull a sat L all over again. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. ONDS. Okay, it's holding. We're at the upper band. I'm not really interested in chasing this company. I am super bullish long term, but we're in this neutral zone. This would have been our diamonds to buy somewhere in these nines. Would have been the time to buy. We've done CSPs. We've made our money on it. I'm not worried about that stuff, but we're sitting right at this resistance. So what you're going to have to do is wait for it to break this resistance, and then you're going to be at the top band. It's just not going to feel like a great entry point. You also have the weekly not crossed over bullish. MACDs are curling down. Stochastics are curling down. Volume is going down. So like nothing is screaming to me, I'm ready to like buy this yet. There's other opportunities out there that I think are a better risk reward opportunity than ONDS currently at this moment. Okay. Space, like I said, space is a top sector this year. We've made our money going into this year. We captured, I think it was by far my biggest win in the past year was ASTS and Rocket Lab. We had 208% and 154% gain on these two, just following the diamonds. And the reason I didn't follow the diamonds this time around on ASTS and Rocket Lab, and again, I like to just explain my thought process for you guys also to better understand what I was thinking, or to understand like why I didn't get into it, is mainly because if we pull up our moving averages, I think it's the 100-day. No, it's the 200-day. Okay. We get pretty close to this 200-day. And there's a 100-day, I think that's pretty close. Let me see here. And then there's trend lines. We'll talk about the trend lines too. So the best buying opportunities came from these trend lines here, which it showed it could still come down, and then these 200 days. It just never got undervalued enough for us, where we saw the bottom trend line was going to be, let's see here. There. Right? Bottom trend line of all of these. So like when comparing to other opportunities in the market, it didn't make a whole lot of sense with this having about a $10 roughly drop in price. Wasn't worth it with resistance quickly right here. Like it wasn't a huge, it was a 1-to-1, right? It could go up $10, it can go down $10. It's not worth the risk reward. And that's our main thing, is managing our risk to protect ourselves. Let's see, Hood. We're waiting on the weekly on Hood. Good day today. You can see this is curling. This hasn't crossed over. This is starting to curl. So we're almost there with Hood. So good opportunity dips. You can do CSPs. They're doing a share buyback at these levels, which is why it's bullish today. But as of right now, no diamond, no weekly diamond, so we're not in it. SoFi, we're waiting on the same thing. Curling, curling, curling. SoFi and Hood charts are identical charts. So if you are bullish on SoFi right now and how the chart looks, you're definitely bullish on Hood too. But as for me, I think SoFi has more catalysts coming up to be successful and have a bigger return. We'll see if it plays out, but I think that's the case because Robinhood doesn't have the S&P inclusion anymore. Robinhood's numbers are technically stagnant or slightly declining on all metrics for the most part, all metrics. Um, and SoFi is now hitting their kind of their moment, which is what Noto has been planning. He's been planning for this moment right now because I don't know if you guys know, but Noto in the next 3 to 6 months, I think. I can't remember the exact date, but he gets a bonus based on the stock share price. So he's going to do everything he can to, I would say, pump this stock up. He wants his bonus. It's millions and millions of dollars. He's not going to just let that just go away easily, you know? So he's buying shares. Guess what? If he pumps it up and he owns shares and he gets his bonus, like he's setting himself up very nicely. So any questions, any stocks, any strategy questions, anything, you guys are more than welcome to ask. If you guys are looking at specific ones, CSPs, covered calls, we can take a look at it. If you guys want to understand diamonds, how do you add the Bollinger Bands? Yeah, so on the Chill Master Elite, go to your settings and show Bollinger Bands. And then when you click that, it'll populate. You can go ahead inside of styles, adjust the thickness if you just want them skinny and can barely see them. Do that. I kind of just use them and then put them away just to kind of see. So right now we're at the bottom of the band. This is why we've been doing CSPs on the weekly time frame bottom band near this 200 weekly, guys. Like you can CSP all day long. Like amazing opportunity is right here. Same thing will go with Hood. Bottom of the band, red right there. So you're looking anywhere. If you can get anything in these 60s is amazing. Okay. This is also why, like, if you look at the bottom of these bands, and every stock can go to the bottom of the band, just so we're clear. Just like SoFi and Hood, people didn't think that was the case. Well, bottom of the band for ASTS is $40. Someone is going to say, I don't think ASTS will ever go to 40 again. It might not go to 40, but it will go to the bottom of the band. It just might not happen right this second, but this 200 weekly is also at 35. There's a lot more risk in taking this trade than there is taking like a SoFi trade. Short term, you might win some here, right? You're going to win some. But long term, this one is going to be the one that plays out a little bit better. Just the opportunities there. Your risk is way lower. We want to minimize as much risk as possible. What's going on, Damien? You're more than welcome to jump in. You want to talk? I know you've been killing it with your charts too, so I'm happy to hear from you.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's happening?
Man, what a day! I $10,000 on Lunar today.
That's amazing.
Now, I did go risky, yesterday off that news.
Yep.
I try not to dip into my margin account, but I had a feeling on that one, so I
Yep.
decided to double down because it was at the bottom of the consolidation channel yesterday after I was done shorting it around 17, 18. So I put in a ton of money on that.
Uh-huh.
My wife was like, "Do not tell me how much you risked." You know? Yeah, and then today we had that huge spike, and the one thing that I've been noticing with all of these, because of this market with all these like trades and swings and everything is, these pops and these green days, they might only last 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
And then everything comes back down. I mean, we've seen ONDS retest that 10 area so many times. And, as much as I am long on ONDS, like everyone else, you know, like, and I haven't sold my position yet, but I'm like, why am I not just selling when it hits 11
Yeah,
or selling some of it and then just buying it back at 10 again? Because,
it's just
you
bouncing.
know, yeah. So
Hmm.
with all these space plays like this, I remember, I think you guys told me I bought ASTS like a week or so ago,
Hmm.
and it would pop up and come back down and pop up and come back
Yeah,
down.
you can see this support resistance right here. This little boom, boom,
And
boom, boom.
of course, I've got these targets of, like, I want to sell ASTS at 115 or 125 or 140, but I'm crazy if I'm not capturing some of these gains along the way. And if I have to buy back in a little bit higher and, I'm wrong on my sell, I'm okay with that. But I would rather
Yep.
capture, a couple grand here or, 10% there
Yep.
and then just get back in.
Yeah, our and that's what I think our group's been doing the best with that is like a lot of groups I think are just holding and not making any plays with it and just like, oh, it's the rally's begun and it's like we're not there yet. We want to take our small wins because I do think like again we could see a Friday just drop, and we'll be able to buy back everything we just got rid of.
Yeah.
There's no we don't know what's true right now on the news. Ceasefire, no ceasefire. They want to completely stop the war. And then they say like you're gonna have to kill us all before you stop this war. It's like what is happening out there? Like we have
Yeah.
no clue. So it's all driven by X news right now. Um, I'm assuming that we will see inflation data happen on the macros next month, based with war
Yeah.
prolonging this long. And I don't know if you guys all still know, and I'm going to keep reminding the group because nobody talks about it on X, but the government is still shut down. They say
Oh, wow.
partially,
The
but it's,
TSA lines
yeah,
are still line.
it's,
Still big.
it is still shut down. This is why Oscar is still down, guys. This whole ACA news on the extension and all this, like, we're waiting on that. We're waiting on their next earnings to prove, like, their guidance was real about them guiding for $19 billion with a $3 billion market cap, which that guidance doesn't include ACA extensions. Um, so huge potential there. But right now I'm stuck in Oscar again. I won't follow blindly someone next time. Um, but right now, I mean, yeah,
We
space
all made that
is.
mistake.
What was that?
I said I think we all made that mistake.
Yep. Well, we won't do it again. It's all good. Well, eventually, I'm fine with the company. I understand, and I'll get my money back. I'm not worried about that. But it's just time, right? Missing out on using the capital elsewhere. Um, yeah, space is hot. I think data centers are hot. Um, Iran's going to be the next one. They've already hinted twice, three times that they've got a deal in the works. Like, just they just need to finalize it, I guess, to announce it. But they need to hurry up. Navitas, you're going to start trading Navitas, Damien?
I gotta look into it more. Let me go check it right now. I looked at it the other day, but the problem is I get carried away sometimes and I start buying all these different stocks, and then all of a sudden I've got 25 stocks that I'm trying to manage.
Yeah, I mean, super bullish for
So
Navitas and what they do. Um, so basically, the most energy efficient data center chips cooling, where it basically can pump their efficiency. I don't know, in half,
yeah,
like double their efficiency at half the cost and use half the amount of energy, kind of thing. So it's like, well, if energy is a problem, we definitely need things that are more efficient. So they are going, I think, to be a leader for sure. And they're only at 2.25 billion market cap.
yeah,
It doesn't take much to make that thing move with the amount of money on those contracts coming from data centers and energy.
yeah. No, it definitely looks good. on the 1 year, it's been trending up. So buying any of those dips seems like a no-brainer on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, if I take the Bollinger
Just
Bands off. Yeah, it's just been
yeah, you
holding
just
this.
want to on the longer scale chart, like the 5 year chart, is
Yeah.
where you just need to be a little careful and make sure
Yeah.
because you're in the middle of that right now
Yeah.
across 5 years. So if there was any downside, it could go down
Yeah, I think if they
pretty
did,
far.
yeah, think so.
But
But
as long as yeah, that's why you buy those dips and just, I don't use stop losses like I should, but I think it's good to, even if you're not using them per se, to have like a notification on your trading view or have something that lets you know that it's, either you're at break even or it's down whatever percentage. That way you're not just all of a sudden opening your account and you look at it and you're like, oh my God, what happened?
yep,
Now I'm down.
agreed. Did you get
But
into? You didn't get into Hood, or you did?
I got into it, and this is why I'm trying to like manage some stuff. And I got into Hood emotionally, right before that event, so now I'm sitting on a loss on that.
Gotcha.
And I bought lower on support. Thankfully, a lot of that is up now. But when I zoomed out and was looking at the chart again, I was like, I need to just get out of this on a green day because I think we might have a pump like we did today, and we might, get back a little bit. But ultimately, I think the market is just going lower, and I think Hood is one of those names that really wants to go lower with the market.
Yep.
And of course, as you know, Hood is my favorite number one position. I'm like the biggest bull on Hood.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I'm more of a bull on having cash in my pocket and knowing that I can pay my bills and you
Oh
know
yeah. There's definitely like a responsibility to ourselves to protect. And I had someone asking me, I think, about ARM today. They're up like 300% on their option, and I can let me look at the messages. I just said they were asking like should I sell it, and I'm like, well, first of all, I can't tell you to do anything, but um I said personally, I like to take gains, understand that things can go higher but things can go lower. What money you have in front of you is more important than imaginary money that could be there if the stock goes higher, right? Like
yeah,
the physical number sitting in front of you on your gains is actually yours if you just hit a button. All we did was
yeah,
click a few buttons and you made some money. Like where people work a whole 8-hour day to make $150.
yeah,
Okay. Take that and just realize that we just hit a few buttons to make a couple grand in a day. Like, take some profits, guys. When you realize that you don't want to work an 8-hour shift and you rather just hit a few buttons for $100 in a day, you'll like think of trading completely differently than like the FOMO of oh my gosh, Hood, like people right now are just like Hood's going to 150, and I'm like, yeah, I agree, but it's not going to 150 tomorrow. Like
yeah.
there's a lot of movement that happens all within getting to that 150. This whole thing
Well,
was not all
what
up. This was a bunch of up and downs.
what's funny about that is I was, my mentality on trading has totally switched and changed since this recent drawdown because we had the tariff drawdown. What was it, like mid February to mid April, whatever. It was like
Mm-hmm.
a month and a half, 2 months. It was so short, and I think that really kind of set people up for failure with what we're dealing with right now because they're like, oh, it's just one tweet. It's not going to last that long, and I remember with my account, I had $500,000 in my account. My account was up over 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the amount. It was like 250% or something. I was up last year. Um, my account had started at like 200,000, and I brought it up over 500. Um, and then we started having that drawdown, and this, like, I just kept thinking like, oh, it's only going to go down a little, and then it's going to reverse, and it's not going to be that long. I just need to sit through it. And then all of a sudden, it just kept getting longer and longer. And then I'm looking at like my hood account, and I'm like, I just lost 50% of my gains on hood
Yep.
because I didn't stick to a strategy and sell. And I had my wife at home who's like, you know, I would always go to her and be like, oh my God, Circle just IPO'd and I'm up this amount and it's huge or whatever. And she'd always just turn to me and say, you're going to sell, right? And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I will sell,
I
but
don't tell my wife
sell.
anything until I do sell. I've
Yeah.
learned because I would say, "Hey, we're up big," and she goes, "But it's fake." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
done."
not, it's not the bank account.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. Until you deposit it into my bank account, it's fake. Real
Right.
quick. So Wolf. People, yes, people are very bullish on Wolf. Obviously, it's had a huge run. Right. We had our weekly diamond down here, and now we're getting some sell. We have some bearish divergence happening. We have the MACDs curling down. We have overall momentum is down compared to where it was during its most bullish moments. It's losing steam. Stochastic is curling up, so we could get a slight bump up, but overall, also volume is trending down as we are going higher. So everything's telling me that it's not there might be a day trade inside of it, but it's overall it's overvalued and it needs more time to breathe than other things in the market. Other things in the market have been doing their breathing. This needs more time before I think it can make a true next leg up. But I've been wrong before, but that's what I see based on all this momentum. I see price goes up, and everything else is telling me momentum and trends are should be going down here shortly. Just don't know if it's worth the risk compared to buying Hood in the 70s and SoFi in the 16s. And Iren is a data center as well, which is 50% from its highs, or 40%. Thanks, Jin. Um, Soundhound is one where I'm waiting on the weekly as well. Look at this, curling, getting ready. We're almost there. We're sitting right here on the 200 SMA weekly. April low right now. We're sitting on. Like, I'm waiting on the weekly diamond, and we will make a buy on Soundhound. So I'm saving some cash for that one. Saving some cash for I don't know. Well, 1550. If SoFi decides to hit it, I'll buy it. But as of right now, all my cash is there. Um, Archer for my dollar cost down. I'm waiting on the weekly diamond. You can see that this is the April support and a good chunk of buying and selling in this range right here. So April support, we're currently sitting there. And then we have this downtrend as well. So hopefully we can get a diamond and break this downtrend, and then Archer is going to be dollar cost average down. So that's what I'm saving cash for as well, to dollar cost down on this. Um, but I don't know if you guys have seen what Archer's been doing, but everything I've seen from Archer has been bullish. I don't know if it's just because of this Joby lawsuit still like lingering, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of that's bearish, but it's a lawsuit, and we all know how these lawsuit things work out. It's just usually a buying opportunity overall. Um, when it comes to these lawsuits, they end, everyone forgets about them, and we move on. Drones getting hit today out of everything. Path is still going down, huh? Weekly rejected.
What happened to that one again? Because they had, I think, good earnings or something. Or I remember it dropped and then it was really coming back. And
Um,
then it was taking off
Revenue
again.
was above estimates. EBITDA was a beat. Billings missed. Shares fell 10%. I think it was a lot have to do with like their growth wasn't there. Like they weren't showing a whole lot of growth on their earnings side of things. Not a whole lot of new customers, but then they had that Microsoft came in and that's what just like made it run from 10 to 12 with like an investment into them or partnership with Microsoft. And they're partnered with Amazon as well, so like I do think they're going to be good, but I'm just going to wait for our weekly diamond to come into play for us to play this cuz weekly diamonds this one, where's this one? Up here. I mean, weekly diamonds when this white line is closer to this green diamond, closer to the bottom, like this, closer, have been amazing buys. Boom. We'll wait for this next one to happen. So waiting on the weekly. A lot of them I'm waiting on the weekly that are just kind of super beat down. But like below these 200 weekly EMAs. Like you just got to wait for the weekly diamond to come into play, and then that's when you can make your first buy. Dollar cost into it. I can't believe SoFi is going to go red. Just tell me the rates are going to zero. Just tell me. Freaking Oscar. Was Oscar on the weekly? Yeah, we're just waiting. Reset. Time's coming. It's coming. So soon we will not be selling out on these pops. Like when we get a weekly diamond, those diamonds are meant to take a minute to play out. They take a minute, but they are big returns in when they do play out. I mean, Hymns of Diamond was October 2023 at $6. Was the last time we got a Hymns Diamond. Yeah, I have a $12 CSP on Oscar. So I think it puts my low 11s if I get assigned. Let's see here. Navitas is just staying strong. It doesn't. It's been really strong. I'm very proud of them, especially with this MACD curling and the stochastic curling. I think you're gonna see a big move for Navitas. Just need to break that $11 resistance. What other ones you guys looking at right now? Palantir, Google, Meta, PGY. Yep, I have a CSP on PGY right now. It's in the same boat right here. Look, waiting on this reset, waiting on the curl. This is starting to curl too. So all we're waiting on here, and these are gonna move together. All three of these, right? It's all fintech. So I did a CSP for 11, but if I get the diamond on the weekly, I'm just buying shares outright. So I'm just waiting on that weekly. We're right here at all-time lows, guys. Near it. We're not at it, but we're near it. Close enough. And look at last time. And when rate cuts are on the table, like they were during this whole run, it will be a 400% returner from current levels. Okay? Not financial advice. Somebody was about to just clip that and try to come after me for it. Yeah, it's all fintech is all waiting on rate cuts, but right now it's all about the war. Rate cuts are off the table because inflation and war data is going to like ruin rate cuts. But then the war is going to end, and then Powell's gone, well, potentially gone. The new guy comes in who's already has, I believe, an agreement with Trump to cut rates because Trump wouldn't put him in the seat if the guy's not going to cut rates and doesn't believe in what Trump's mission, whatever that mission is. So Trump won't put him in the seat if he's not going to really do what Trump wants him to do. Obviously, there's a board, and he needs to convince everyone on the board to vote. But Trump's making sure that he has the right guy to get that done. So I think if he can do that, then rate cuts will happen very fast. You will see a hyperbolic move from a lot of companies, but mainly from fintech and loan platforms like PGY, because everyone will be refinancing everything and taking out new loans. So PGY, just waiting on that weekly diamond. That's all we're waiting on. Okay. Um, yeah, I think your DCA anywhere with the once we get a weekly confirmation. Yeah. So this is the 100 day. I'll pull up the other moving average. So the majority of April low support came right here. Okay. We had 1 week where it was like, oh my gosh, but majority of these days held the 100-day moving average. Okay, and I don't even know where this closed on. They closed on 513. So somewhere right here. But majority of these days held the 100. So, and the 100 is right there at the previous all-time highs. So I would imagine, based on chart, that we would go lower. This is why we're taking profits when we can take profits still, because we do see downside. The thing is, a lot of companies have had their downside. Okay, so do you put out the diamond indicator alerts in the chat? So, and I'll answer that in just a sec. The quick answer, I guess, is yes, but I'll show you where. Um, so we have this curling, right? These are all like warning you. We're getting to the trimming and selling. We're seeing some exhaustion. We see some curling happening. So this is November right here. Okay, was when the MACD kind of signaled a slow curl happening. The purple's down here. Last time our April reset, the white line got to the 50% mark, 50% pullback. The previous pullback also, October 2023, the white line got to the middle. Okay. When we hit a true bear market, when we go down for a whole year, the white line can reset a lot further. But it looks like SPY, we're probably going to come back to hit these previous all-time highs. But what I was saying is individual stocks might not have that happen, where like Iran, I guess, pulled back, you're still going to be somewhere in the 30s. Okay. Where ASTS could pull back to where we've been saying, which is 70, right? A lot bigger of a pullback to come down to that trend line that we're talking about in the 70s. So other companies that we're saying don't have that same like safety net, like SoFi, right? We're only going to go down so much, and I would imagine it's 1550 is the number. Where companies that aren't undervalued, these can drop a lot more on that kind of correction. Okay, so we're kind of trying to stay out of super. We want to be in the super undervalued to protect ourselves for that SPY to make that further correction. QQQ. I think the QQQ is a little bit more reset than SPY. Let me pull up the SPY again. And let's look at the QQQ. So if it was to drop, we have another 7% drop in the SPY from today. Okay. QQQ. Same chart. Same identical charts. Curling, volume. So as of right now on the weekly time frame, it looks like we still got more downside potential there. Daily time frame, I mean, we've just, as you guys have seen, it's just been a lot of bouncing happening. Gray diamond, so ignore it. But we came down to this 200 weekly right here. But we're going to come down, I think, and to retest all-time highs. That's what everyone's been calling for. It's just been a choppy downhill, so we've been playing the big swings ups and taking profits. And then just like, and there's small wins. Some are big wins. Good job, Damien. Some are small wins. But like I said, we stack these quick small wins and they stack up to a lot. And then when we actually have the big swing, or your account will actually see the gains because, well, you stacked all this and took actual profits and then reapplied it at cheaper points. And then the big swing, when the market does make its final correction, we tend to, rally back to the upside. So whatever you made in this month and last month, right, and we see this rally begin, you're going to see that those little profits that you stacked so much of actually show up in your account, but you just have to wait for that rally, because it'll say like, hey, your account's down. I'm like, well, my account might be down, but overall I've captured, 17, 20 grand to my balance, and I've taken official losses. I've taken 3,000 in losses to my 20 grands in profits in the past month or two. So, right, but it's not going to show that because overall the market has trended down. But we're just going to keep taking the wins. Yes, so we do get the soup. Does that help you? I'd pay attention to the weekly. Just always look at the big picture, guys. Is big picture bullish? No. When we start seeing the big picture, and I will show you an example of, we'll just go back to Iran, okay? This is getting very close to being bullish. Like, could flip any moment, any announcement, bottom of the trend line, anything like that at a good support level of 40, right? Like, we see all those things. Now we can start getting bullish and start thinking about it. But when we see like a QQQ still down here, or here, this is still up here, this purple is nowhere close to the white, this is still up at the top, like we don't see anything really close to kind of making its way up, right? We just assume a bigger time frame, we're still bearish. What's up, Damien?
Oh, I was gonna say last night I was looking at being like, if I put $100,000 into a swing trade and I bought somewhere that is super low risk, like at the bottom of a trend line support, and I just did that every day and only sold it for a 1% gain.
Yep.
Well, there's about 250 days in the year. You make 250,000 for the year.
Yep.
Just by doing that.
Yeah,
You know
1%.
what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's kind of what that's why, like, you say, like, kind of how you just said it, right? If you did the CSP route, it's the same thing. We're talking about doing a 10% every month. Okay, I'm not going to get to the 250% like you did, but 10% every month, and I only got to make 12 good trades. And I get to 120% a year. So you do a CSP at your support, you don't even risk even owning it. And if you did own it, you'd get to own it for a lot better of a price because it was at a super, you're at support and it went down and you did your CSP. So like we're just trying to do, and someone asked earlier, can you make more money doing weekly CSPs? I said absolutely, but you have to be right 52 times instead of being right 12 times, right? Your risk of being right is not as likely when you do it 52 times versus 12 times. So, but yeah, stacking these wins. I mean, Cypher was up 10%. Iran was green. Now it's red, right? So, again, guys, I'm not worried about. I just bought some. I'm buying it for the big trade. I'm not buying it for the little swing right here. I'm buying it for. They're going to announce a partnership. It's coming. It's coming. CEO has hinted at it way too many times. You just got to listen to him. Okay, there's a partnership. Whether it's OpenAI, he couldn't comment. We don't know. Or is it another contract just like Cypher signed? Could be, because he said in earnings there was a big billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar contract in talks with somebody. So for Doug, for you to see all your alerts, okay, when you are in, here's your community chats, right? All of these chat rooms right here. Okay, and then if you scroll down, you have chill trades. Okay, let me just close these. You got education, then you got charts, then you got trades, and then below that you have bots. So yesterday we had like a bot of UUU, which is a diamond, a bullish diamond. So it's either a yellow diamond or a green diamond, posted. Okay, and then like here's a bearish diamond. So it's either going to be an orange diamond or red diamond for Nibius. So this chill bots underneath of my trades is my watch list specifically. What stocks I'm watching, which you'll see me reference all the time, is this little sidebar that I'm looking through, which you can look and see what's in there. There's a link at the top of Chill Trades as well, to take a look at. But these are the companies I'm specifically watching, because if I start looking at way too many, like this alert list we have, I just get lost. Same way Damien was saying, like you just have way too many, you're just gonna get lost and you'll miss some opportunities and just too much to track. But each of these is like AI software. So here's 5 companies I watch for software. Here's 4 data centers, 4 energies, right? 2 rare earths, 3 drones, 5 spaces, 3. So like they're just sectors, and I have like top 5 in each sector, except like this isn't supposed to be the Mag 7. This is apparently ONDS play that I'm trying to looking into right now. So, but the watch list. So if you want specifically my watch list ones, here's the watch list. This is where you got the SADL alert at 328 to buy on Thursday the 19th. So yeah, you'll get these right here. You can see them with your full membership. You'll have access. And then these are specific to the 900 stock watch list I have. Okay. So you will see every day at the close, the dailies will post. So you just go in, 4 o'clock happens, just go into Discord, see if you know any of these tickers or if you like any of these tickers. You're like, oh, I am a Tesla bull. Let me look at Tesla. Okay. It's telling you should dollar cost average and buy a little bit here. Okay. You should probably dollar cost average and buy a little here. If you like these companies. Riot, if you're a Riot fan, here's a daily. Okay. And daily bearish. So at the end of the day, if you see any of these and they have your names on it, you might want to be thinking about trimming some. And then we have the weekly. So these will be the weekly diamonds that populate, weekly bearish diamonds that populate, monthly bullish, monthly bearish, and then any purple that tell you to sell. You don't have to, but it's super overvalued, so be careful, please. Okay? Again, better to capture gains than it is to ride it down and get stuck in it. Whoa, that's too many of me. What's going on, Huey? Welcome in. I know Huey's a Celsius guy. I have 2 empty Alanis sitting in my truck cup holder right now. Okay. I think one of my buddy did a CSP on Celsius yesterday. So, a so I think I'm super bullish. It's Kirkland is not taking Celsius out of business. Like, get the hell out of here. They can, like, I get it. Costco's a big like wholesale retail store, but White Claw does still, like, people follow Celsius and Alani, and they're gonna go try Kirkland, but Kirkland is only going to come out with 3 flavors or 4 flavors, and that's it. They're not going to go make a bunch of variety packs, a bunch of anything like that. They have a White Claw knockoff. We buy the White Claw knockoff because it's significantly cheaper, and they come out with 4 flavors. And for us, we're just not big drinkers, so like we don't drink them very often. Like a case of 24 lasts us a month or two. Um, so, but it's gonna be the same thing. Celsius, like Celsius has so many flavors. Like if Kirkland doesn't come out with a Coke flavor, I'm still gonna buy Celsius because I love the cola flavor or cherry cola. So like that doesn't change for me. And not everyone has a Costco membership. Costco's aren't in like gas station walk-in stores, convenience stores. Um, so yeah, I'm a huge fan. We did lose that 38, so I mean I could see it going to this like 34 range, but what I'd be waiting for is the next weekly diamond to populate here. Wait for this momentum to cross and give you a weekly diamond, and that'd be your next DCA. But I'm a huge fan of Celsius. You got something, Damien, on it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm huge on Celsius too. I was surprised when I saw how big of a drawdown it had. So I'll be buying any major dips that company has and
Yep.
putting it in for the long term.
Yeah. What is look at revenue Q4 revenue growth 721 million, 117% year over year. EBITDA beats. Um yeah, like get out of here. Kirkland's not putting a huge dent in any of this. So, and Costco's not international, right?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but
Well, you know who is? Celsius is international. Yeah, and Celsius will probably end up, I don't know, suing Costco or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, Lululemon sued Costco for the copycat pants. I don't know if White Claw did, but White Claw's not publicly traded. I don't think. Maybe. Did Celsius buy Rockstar? I know they bought Alani, but I can't remember. I felt like they bought Rockstar or something. ASTS 16 Rocket Lab. We're still pumping. Boom, flat. They're gonna send hymns to 1950, guys. I'm telling you, 1950, and then we can go back up. The shorts just need to push it down far enough for them to get out.
yeah, they bought Rockstar.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. So all we did, we pumped, we hit that resistance. We're gonna do our pullback, and then we're gonna do the next leg higher. Pullback wise, there's your golden Fibonacci is 1950. We're gonna pull back right to that, and then we're gonna bounce. And then if that is correct, which it should be, if we go to figure out where the next wave is going, should get to 34, which will hit this resistance level, maybe a small little pullback from there, and then we should hit this 43 level, which will be your next resistance, which is exactly where the Fibonacci's are landing. It's weird how all of it works and lines up like that. When you see something line up perfectly like that situation where it's the support and the resistance levels and the lining is hitting, it's most likely going to happen. So, and then I'm sure like 2.618, here's this one. Yep, coming up to this next support resistance. So yeah, I would expect final target for like this run between all the waves is going to be 70.68, which is lining up perfectly to all-time highs. So those are our little targets here. Let me do this. Boom. Those are your targets. It'll be waves. It'll go up and down and up and down and up and down and up. So it's not going to be an instant shot. I mean, it could be with the squeeze like these ones did. Boom. But overall, here's your targets. And then it's going to pull back again. A bigger pullback will happen. And then this will take off to then we'll get to the 130 target that we've been talking about. So loading up. Loading up. I'm a hymns bull. You guys all know it. Yep. Yeah, under 20. Go ahead and pick them up. I'm telling you, this will be your last moment. If you load up correctly down here, you won't need to buy anymore. You guys will just hold it and be happy. Like, this company at this level, with everything cleared up from lawsuits of NVO partnership, like, I don't understand how it could be this low right now. I really don't. International expansion has taken off. You're going to see that come into play into their next earnings. You also have their 2 acquisitions of the companies for international expansion. Then they have their new products being launched with sleep and everything like that. Peptides facility as well, which obviously we know is being pushed by our current health administration. So just a waiting game, but this I believe Hims and SoFi will set me up to retire, kind of thing. Like no longer doing my side jobs to have produce additional income. So that's my goal. Okay, I'll be patient. I'll work until that happens, but I think these are just some. Those two are like some of the best opportunities in the market. What else you guys got? Any questions? Any stocks? Any things? Any strategies? Any open book, guys? I know some of you are working and are just listening, so no worries. And you can always message me later and I can always make videos. Just so you know, your guys' questions aren't crazy. Like a lot of people have these questions, and it's good that you ask them so I know what people don't understand. And when you don't understand it, I can guarantee a couple, 10, hundreds other people don't understand it as well, but aren't willing to ask. And I know it's always tough to want to ask, but take advantage of me. If I say no, which usually is I don't know if I've done it yet, but if I say no, it's no, I can't do it right this second, but I will get you an answer. Like it's not just an outright no. I have no problem teaching. I enjoy it. Options CSPs you're talking about for hymns? We can do it all right now so everyone can see it. It's all being recorded anyway, so we can all look back at it. See if there's any new news out there real quick. SoFi with their new offering for joint accounts. That's awesome. Here we are. This is the same thing I'm talking about. Pull back into this $19, $20 range, and then we're going to head right up to this moving average, which puts us right there at that 40. Talking about the same move here, guys. If I'm not the only one that sees it, there's also like that. I love that. That's my favorite is when I see an idea. I don't know if you guys all use X, but if you go on X and type in the ticker and you see your idea populate by other analysts, it's a pretty good chance it's going to happen. Pretty good chance. Okay. ASTS. Here's your 155 long-term target. Damien.
Yep. That's where it's headed.
Yep. 155. Which is what we were saying that when we were at the 117, we just didn't think that it was going to make it that run. We were like, it's not going to do it right this second, but it's going to get there.
Yeah, and that's when you sold. I
Yep.
was like, you know what? I need to listen to Chill. That's why I'm in this group in the first place.
Yep.
And I took my wins, and price came down, and now I've been buying in. And I just sold my ASCS today, but that's just because I'm swing trading.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'll be buying there.
With this current condition,
today or tomorrow or
without the official statement of the war being over, I'm okay with quick trades. But once the official statement is made, it's buy and you can hold. Like for the most part. Here's Iran short target. We said the same thing. Resistance is going to be up here in the 50s, 53s. So we're just going to buy right now. I just bought right now. I didn't even put the alert out, but I bought right now. Just because Cypher announced the deal. Just like I thought yesterday, I was like, you know what? I want to buy by the end of this week, and I missed it. Missed the pop. I'm not going to mess up with Iran because it's going to do it also. The Bollinger Bands are too tight for it not to pop. So I'm going to go ahead and buy. And I think that we're going to see a double up happen. Not this go around. It'll do what Cypher just did, which is like pop a 10%, 15%, depending on how good the deal is. But we're going to get that pop. And then we're gonna go ahead. He's counting on another drop. Could happen. Um, but he's on the 2 hour time frame, so a lot of action happens when we look at the weekly. So I'm bullish for Iran. There's ARM. They got another contract or something? Or no, this is just him talking about it. Just trying to see if there's any news of walking out there with an was that is that Elon's robot? Sorry, I'm just kind of going through seeing if there's any news. Crypto clarity is coming. Okay, well, I don't care. It's been coming. I don't know the difference between people knowing it's coming and the day it's actually done, I guess. With the crypto stuff, like I've only seen people buying a ton. I don't even understand how it's going down. Not a crypto guy. I'm not. If you are here for crypto, dog, I'm not a crypto guy. There are crypto guys in here. We have a really good guy that's his name's Panda that does 25 times leveraged like whatever accounts, and he kills it. Hymns. So hymns, CSP right now would be a good day. Could it get better? Sure, but I wouldn't bank on it. I again playing with fire, trying to time this thing. I'm just gonna try to accumulate. April 17th, you could do a weekly. I'm still sticking with like kind of April 17th, unless you're just saying I want to own these shares, then you could do a shorter time frame. But April 17th, if you did the 1950 right now, which would be your 32 delta, which is sell to open or sell put, okay? And then you hit on yours, it's a red button, right? The sell, okay? And right now the mid price is $1.10. So if it's under 1950 on April 17th, you would buy the shares for 1950. But you also get $1.10, so your break even would be $18.40 on HIMS. Okay, it would be your break even price if you were to get assigned. If you don't get assigned, you make $110 per contract, and you get your collateral back. So that would be the default play. Would be one of these, a 1950 or 19. I'd probably just go the 1950 route. That's default. Risky or more likely to be assigned would be doing at the money today for April 17th for $1.55. Same concept happens, but you would own it for a break even of $19 basically, right? 2050 minus $1.50, you're going to own it for 19, which puts you right in that landing zone of that break even and the likelihood of getting assigned. So I would go that route, but I'm more bullish on HIMS and likely to be assigned and want that kind of stuff. So I'm good with it. You can see I have a $22 one for April 17th. So I'm like, I want to get assigned. The break even on the day of red was like putting me right at 1980 or something. So I was good with it. I wanted to get assigned. So hopefully I still do. We have till April 17th, 23 days. You know how much can change in 23 days? A lot can change. I'll give you the answer. Does that make sense, Huey, for HIMS? I'll wait for a Y or a no before I type. Okay, cool. Celsius. Chart. Celsius. Okay, we're just looking at the support resistance levels where we're seeing it, which is going to be in this 34 range right here. Okay, I already know we're at the bottom of that Bollinger Band. No doubt in my mind. Okay. There it is. 34 is the next leg down. So 34, we're at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. I can show you if you want to look. Bollinger Band, pull it up. We're at the bottom. Today is the day of CSP for Celsius. Okay. Trade Celsius options. Sell, put. April 17th is the shortest I would go unless you are trying to get assigned by the end of the week and just want the shares right away. But April 17th is the shortest I would go, and then the next one I would look at is May 15th would be the max, because typically I don't like to do more than 45 days, but May 15th has all the option activity because it's the monthly option, not a weekly option. Monthly options are the third Friday of every month, which tends to have more volume, smaller spreads. So therefore, you're not, the options not being as manipulated by buyers and sellers. So I like to stick to those. So right now, I'm sticking with April 17th. May 15th would be your next one. Okay. But right now, you'd be looking for about 34. Look how that works. 34 is also your 30 delta. So you would either own the shares at 34 minus your $1.14 if you got assigned, or if it's above 34 on April 17th, you would get your $1.14 cents per share in premium, and that's it. So your break even would be roughly 32.85 on Celsius. Okay. That is Celsius. SoFi. We're at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. You know where I've been saying support is or the final straw, the final bottom is going to be this like 1550 range. I think it might not happen, but it's been holding the 1650 very strong. But I think that we are going to have one more little drawback, SoFi could hit that 15 mark. Okay. I'd wait for just a red moment in the day or something. You want these premiums to be increasing. Okay, so when you see this happen, when we're selling a put option April 17th, when you're selling a put and your premiums are red or negative, we don't want to do puts on that day. Because, right, like our premium, the stock is flat, yet our premiums are 9% less than they were yesterday. I'm not down for that. I'm not going to play that. I want this to show me that the premiums have gotten better, which typically means a red day needs to happen for the stock. But on a red day, your 30 delta is 16. So you do 16 makes, well, right now you wouldn't make 70 cents. So if it was flat day, 80 cents, but right now it's 70 cents, which would put you right at about a 15.20 break even. Okay. 15.30 if you did it today, but I wouldn't do it today. I have 17 and 18 because I want to be assigned, but I want to get paid to get assigned. Okay. I don't really like to think of break even unless I'm trying to get out of a position for my break even, right? Your goal is if you buy it for 18, you need to sell it for 18 or higher. If you buy it for 17, 17 or higher. I don't want to try to sell it for 17 minus the dollar because 16 is my break even. If I just sell it for break even, what did I do? I just broke even. I didn't make anything, right? But it's good to know where your break even is in case bad things can, go wrong, war continues, recession, those kind of scenarios. Yeah, you need to know what your break even is, right? But I just look at my strike price. So if you're trying to buy it for 16, you have to think, what's the likelihood of me getting assigned? If I'm not thinking I'm going to get assigned, like I'm just like, yeah, I probably won't get assigned. I'll just get the premium. Make sure you're okay with that. If you're not okay just collecting the premium because the likelihood of getting assigned is not very likely for SoFi at this time, I think for April 17th could happen. I just don't think it's likely. You need to make sure you're okay with your capital getting that return. So inside of our WAP, guys, which if you have the WAP app on your phone now, you guys can plug this in instead of using our spreadsheet. You can use a spreadsheet when you're at the computer, but I think on the phone it's really hard to plug into a spreadsheet. But on the WAP, you have this CSP calculator here, okay? And it tells you kind of risk assessment and how much you'll make and everything. So current stock price on SoFi 1682. I'm going to plug in this 16 for us right now. So 1682 with a 16 strike. So stock price 1682. Strike price we're doing a 16. The premium currently is 70 cents. Expiration date is 23 days out. Okay. So cash required is 1600. You'll make 70 bucks. Return on capital is a 4.38% return, which is really good, guys. Because annualize that, if you can do this every 23 days, with this capital, it'll return you, have an annual return of 70%. I don't have a problem with a 70% annual return. Most people are just trying to figure out how to beat the SPY on their portfolio and get more than a 10% annual return. They say if you can just beat the SPY every year, you'll be rich beyond your means. 10% every year on average. We can do that, right? I don't need home run hits. If we get assigned these shares, believe it, SoFi will be a home run hit, right? But I still want to get paid and play it safe and protect my capital and still get paid 5%, basically 4% to buy SoFi. You need to pay me. Somebody better pay me to buy you, okay? Your cost basis, so your break even would be 1530. Here's your risk assessment, very low risk, okay? Low risk. So if you wanted to bump that up, right? Stock price, strike price, if I bump this to 17, there you go. Now you've elevated. You're more towards your risky side. The stock actually needs to go up 1% to get assigned. Okay? Doesn't need to go down. You'll profit 70 bucks. Oops. Strike price. Oh, your premium will be higher. Hold on. 17, $1.12. There you go. There. About a 6.5% return. Annualize that. 104% annualized. If you just find the super cheap, strong companies, which currently is SoFi, Robinhood, Hims, doing these ones, you're going to get plenty of capital or return on your capital for not even buying the stock. And if you get the stock, upside is there to make more. I didn't get a chance to listen to it in the morning. My wife has the worst schedule for work. She leaves at 9:30, 9:40. I'm hanging out with her in the morning because I don't see her all day, and then I only see her for like an hour or 2 hours when she gets home. So like I'm like thinking I'm on my phone like, oh my gosh, the market's booming. I need to hurry up and get to my computer. But I'm like, don't want to be rude. I'm like, oh man, have a good day and all that. And I'm just like, so no, I didn't get a chance to listen to the call. I heard it was amazing. I didn't, they already put the data out there. So without them announcing a big contract of any sort, I didn't think it was going to boom. Yeah, I think that right now it's tough. I don't think we're super bullish on ONDS right this second. We kind of went over it in the beginning. But if we take a look at ONDS, okay, I think I drew these. That's the daily time frame. Okay, look at. Does anything tell you to be bullish on it right this second? Right? That's the goal, is to be able to like kind of look at these things and quickly see, okay, here's the top, here's the bottom. Yep. So daily time frame, I mean, here's the weekly. This is like a long drawn out, right? This is kind of hit its resistance right here. So they got some time. It's just not ready completely yet, but I do think that the next opportunity is still going to be somewhere here in these like mid nines. Will probably be another opportunity. But I think, yeah, they got to come out with some. I don't know what to be honest, I don't know what they need to do because they keep announcing partnerships and everything, and it's just been holding here, which is fine. It needs to consolidate. I mean, it's had a huge run. Our last big buy, yeah, I mean, we had diamonds in the 50 cents, and then we had a diamond at the $5 range, and then we had diamonds in the $8 range, and then we ran up to 12. Like, it's had an amazing run. I'm not saying that, and I don't think it's over yet, but it definitely doesn't look ready right this second. There's more bullish charts out there for sure. Um, Let's see. Any other questions? I have a work meeting at 1 o'clock. I can go over anything. Yeah, they do announce acquisitions, which their acquisitions are diluting shareholders because they're not giving up their cash. They're giving shares to these owners, and they're not giving shares that are currently out there in the market. They're creating new shares to give to them, which are diluting us, which is fine for a company that's early on in growth. We understand that needs to happen. But the acquisitions better turn into profit and revenue. Otherwise, you diluted us for nothing. So you need to see that dilution have a positive effect actually on the business, which takes time. which is what we're seeing here. And based on the indicators, it's going to take some time. But yeah, they're not giving up their cash. They're just diluting us, which is why I would assume the market or the stock isn't just booming on these acquisitions. Guidance looks great. Long term, look great. Absolutely. And I think their market cap is only 5 billion. Yeah, they have a while. They have a good amount to go still. Our cat would be the backup to them if you. So I look at these two. This one is like a Trump golf course going into drone company, AGH. So it's interesting. It used to be a golf course company. Now it's turning into a drone company. And the Trump family is involved with it. So keep eyes on it for sure. That's why I have it on my list. I'm just keeping eyes with these ones to see if they move to the same. They have another one, JFB, I think, used to be like a what was it? Construction company. Now it's a drone company, also involved with the Trump family. JFB. Trump family stocks tend to actually not do very well. They have moments and they can have these random pops, but overall, I have not seen true growth movement happening. Space sector still booming. It'll breathe. Anything else before I hop on this work meeting? Great day today. Make sure you take some profits, guys. That's all. Protect yourselves. Like I said, overall, yeah. The SpaceX IPO is probably for sure what is popping all of space. Oh yeah, we can look at Zeta real quick. I know you love to make me look at it. You did the CSP yesterday, right? My buddy did a covered call too on Zeta today. I'm looking at your message before I do anything. Okay, nice. Slightly green today. I think it was greener earlier, but we're sitting right here on this 200 weekly EMA. This red line, 200 weekly. Anytime we've been at that, or this is, I'm assuming, April, below it, has been the best opportunities to buy it. So it's a good job that you were buying yesterday. We are flickering green to yellow, or yellow to green right now. So we are becoming to the point where we have now started entering the buy zone. Let's look at the indicators. I mean, we're getting close to the reset. This is starting to get close to the curl side. We do have some more bearishness. And now let's look at the weekly because that was the daily. Rejected. We still have like a little bit more time. I just don't think it's going to be an explosive move up quick, but it could be like a slow build up. But I think that starting here, like you said, your buy yesterday, you only have, there's not much margin for it to drop, I guess. Like if you saw the drop, 1575 would be the next leg, but like I said, like I'm not worried about dollar cost averaging down on 70 cents. I'm worried about dollar cost averaging down on like $3, $4, $5, like bigger moves. Don't get so caught up in the pinching of pennies. Just don't do it, guys. Pinching pennies gets you hurt more than it helps. Okay. Does that work with subs? Yep. Bottom of the band, weekly time frame, good. The band is getting tighter, right? This is really wide. Now we're getting tighter, so a move is coming. It like I said, it looks like a lot is planning out for the April time frame for like the actual move, similar to last year. Last year was April 21st, so we're gonna see. Like the Bollinger Bands, a lot of the Williams percentage momentum builders are all kind of planning out on the weekly time frame, needing another 2-3 weeks. Right into April. Something tells me for some reason everyone's got April 17th, and therefore the market's going to take off right before the April 17th day, so nobody gets the shares. We're going to see. But alrighty, guys, I gotta hop onto a meeting. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support in the community. If you guys need anything or need any videos, explanations on how to do something, please reach out. Put it in the chat. I can make quick videos, post them into the Discord. It'll just be for you guys to know and understand. If you're like, hey, Colby, I don't understand, how to use the diamonds or anything like that, or how the wheel, like what happens if, I buy the 16 and SoFi goes to 20, what happens? So I want to, if, hey, you made it for the chat. I appreciate you, Dave. So yeah, I'm here to help. Whatever you guys have questions with, to teach, that's what I'm here for. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, we have a live stream also on Sundays. Okay. So that'll be the next time, unless I just randomly hop on to say hi and answer questions whenever I have some free time, which could be later today. We'll see. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.